Today I have a huge haul, as you can see, of curriculum, of different books to use in our homeschool, as well as homeschool supplies. So I'm gonna unbox all of this for you guys and let's get started. First up is a box from All About Learning. We love All About Reading and All About Spelling in our home. And my fourth daughter is getting ready to go into level 3 of All About Reading. We have the old edition, but she loves the colored edition. And she begged and pleaded with me to get the colored edition this time around for her. So we did that. We also decided to get the letter tiles. So I usually am a huge proponent of the app. I think for 90% of the people, the app is the right way to go with letter tiles. However, she is very, very, very tactile. And now that I don't have as many little ones running around, I decided to try the letter tiles again. If you get the letter tiles, just remember they are all you need. One set is all you need for All About Reading 1 through 4 and All About Spelling 1 through 7. So you just have to get it one time. Don't add it on every time or you're gonna end up with a bunch of extras. Next up is the leveled readers for All About Reading 3. These have got beautiful colored pictures. Again, that's her favorite part. It just keeps her very engaged and interested. So I know she's gonna be really excited about this. Next up is the student pack. So this has got the stickers. It's got these colored pages here are the flashcards. And then this is the student book. So I will take all of this apart and put it in a binder. You guys can check out my video. I will link it down below on how I organize All About Reading for my kiddos. And then this is the teacher's book. Again, full color, all the instruction that you're going to need. I will also be spiral binding this just like I do with all of my other teacher's books. Next up is a box from New Growth Press. They have a lot of amazing books and normally I get their kids' books, but this one looked really good. It is Transformative Friendships, and it's written by a Christian counselor. And it gives you 7 questions that'll help you to be intentional with your relationships and kind of springboard you into deepening and strengthening friendships. And I think in today's day and age, where a lot of kids are very much at a surface level, a lot of adults are very much at a surface level when it comes to friendships, this will be something helpful. I'm thinking I'm gonna have my high schoolers read through this summer. It has short chapters and then a few questions at the end to ask for a discussion. So I think this is going to be a really good book to go through with them and just talk as they are going into this next phase of their life. Next up is my first ABC book Bible verses. This is going to be perfect for my Sunday school class. I teach a preschool, kindergarten Sunday school class, and we always have a little extra time at the end, and the kids love for me to read books at the end. So this is great because it goes through and every page is a different letter of the alphabet. It has a verse and a truth at the bottom. So everything in the whole world was made by God. First in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You could totally read this to your kids in one setting, or you could take it and memorize, especially if you've got kindergartners or preschoolers. This would be a great thing to go through, and each week, maybe as you focus on a different letter of the alphabet, memorize the verse that goes along with it as well. You know I love the picture books from New Growth Press because they always have a lot of great story to them as well as a good lesson to learn, and this one is no exception. I've actually already read this one with my girls. This is Coop Messes Up. As always, it has great illustrations to be perfect. My girls loved it, but it would be perfect for little boys who are all about that car phase in life. And at the end, it has the presentation of the gospel, but tying it into the story. So it talks about how Coop and Lucy tried to obey all of the city's rules, but they failed, just like none of us can obey all of God's rules. And so it has questions that you can go through with your kiddos. It has a note for parents of additional ways that you can use this, but this is definitely one I recommend picking up. Okay, now to more of our school supplies. My next item might seem funny, but this is actually something that's gonna come in handy. This is an external hard drive. It's been on my wish list, something I've wanted to get for a long time. And through some different grant money that we were able to get, I got one finally. It's 5 terabytes, so it's pretty big. But with all the homeschooling stuff, there are always a lot of digital things that you have. Audiobooks and files and different curriculums and whatnot. So having an external hard drive just helps me to back all of that up, keep it safe, and not run out of space. In our next box, I've got my giant 3-inch binder. This will be my record keeping binder for the fall every single year. I get a 3-inch binder. I store all of my kids' records, all 6 kids' records, in one binder for the entire year. If you want to see how I do that, you can check out the video up in the iCards or down in the description below, where I show how I organize organized all of it. This is just a great way to keep a portfolio all together. It's not required by law in my state, but I do always like to have those records. I also was able to grab these Ticonderoga pencils. I typically don't get the pre-sharpened ones, but I did go ahead and get them this time because they had a great deal on them. So I figured I might as well snag a set. I also got a package of cardstock. We don't use a ton of cardstock, but I feel like there are every once in a while those projects, especially for younger ages, where they're like, hey, if you print this on cardstock, it's gonna be easier to work with. So I went ahead and grabbed a package of that. Also with the funds, I was able to get a huge stack of laminating pouches. I usually like to get the Amazon brand. Honestly, if that's something you're looking at, we just went through Staples because that was what our grant covered, but Amazon brand laminating pouches are fantastic, and we love to laminate all sorts of things for our homeschool. Next up is a box of mini Post-its. This was actually cheaper than getting the package that I got last time around. These are little teeny tiny Post-its, and I actually use these for our All About Spelling. On the back of the different pieces, you can write in your spelling words, and so in order to make it where I could use it with multiple kids, I get these little Post-its to put on the back. I can write the words that they need to practice for that game, but then I can take them off next time around if I want to switch up the words. And next up, I've gotten so tired of getting so many disposable tape dispensers and having them go missing. I decided to actually invest, after over 10 years of homeschooling, in a real tape dispenser, and of course with that, a whole bunch of rolls of tape. I am hoping this helps me to keep track of my tape a little bit easier, but I've got to keep the kids out of it. So if you have any tips on how to do that, comment down below. Next up is these clear covers. These are like for report covers, but we actually use this with my Fellows binder. I was able to get one on Facebook Marketplace, so be sure to check that out if you're looking for a binding machine. I like to get these clear covers to go in the front when I do spiral bind some of their curriculum. I have a hard backing and then a clear cover that goes on it just to give it a little more durability, and I'm finally, after many years, running out of the ones I originally bought, so I decided to get another package. And I also grabbed a highlighter because I needed something that was just a little bit more to get me to the amount that I was trying to stay within. And my husband is going back to school, and he is always looking for highlighters, so I grabbed one for him. Next up is 2 big packages of heavy-duty sheet protectors. Now, I don't recommend heavy-duty sheet protectors for everything, but if you're doing things like All About Reading and prepping that, if you're maybe doing things where you're going to be using a lot of dry erase, I recommend getting the heavy-duty ones. They hold up so much better. They erase better long-term than some of the cheaper ones. So I was excited to grab 2 boxes of that. And of course, for the upcoming school year, I had to get a whole bunch of dividers. These are amazing. I usually just get whatever's cheapest, so I'm not brand loyal on this one at all, but having these dividers is always helpful. I use quite a few when we do our homeschool record keeping at the end of the year, so I'm always in need of some. And with having 2 kids going into high school in the fall, I know that I'm going to need more of these because more of their subjects are going to require it. Again, as a little extra add-on to this order, I ordered 2 more spiral notebooks. These are just always handy to have. And then I got these really cool binders. These are the really fancy binders that I always want, but I don't normally get. They're really nice because they have the spine that you can change out what the title is. They still have the removable cover so your kids can label it with whatever it needs, but it folds completely flat. It has pockets, all of the things. So I actually did something a little different this year. This is what I'm thinking. I'll let you know how it goes. But in the past, I've always used a 3-inch binder to do all of the kids' records for the entire year. But I do have 2 kids going into high school this year. So what I'm thinking is I think I'm actually going to keep my high schoolers in a 2-inch binder, and I think I'm going to keep their freshman through senior year in one binder. So instead of including them, and I may still include some of their things like for memory's sake in the family binder, but I think I'm just going to keep a totally separate high school binder for that child so that, again, if anything were to be called into question, I needed records or anything, I could get their whole high school binder all together. Because for high school, I'm going to want to do things like keeping all of the syllabuses or the curriculum that I create myself. I'm going to be creating my own syllabus, my own book list, things like that. there's just a lot more moving pieces to high school. So I went ahead and got a red one for my oldest, a green one for my second kiddo. I got a purple one for my daughter. Now she won't be in high school this year, but she's going to be in 8th grade and she's going to be starting some high school work. So I can go ahead and start putting that in her high school binder. And then I got my husband a binder because again, he is doing college level work. He asked for one. He's like, it'd be really nice to keep all of his school stuff in. I had to get myself one. Do I know what I'm gonna use it for? I have no idea, but they're so cute and I've wanted one for so long. So I went ahead and grabbed myself one. Let me know down in the comments what you think I should use it for. And if you want to see how we organize our homeschool records, be sure to check out this video here.